Today I want to talk to you about the 7 rules that you should be following or at least be thinking about if you're investing in your 20s or your 30s. It's easy to slip into mistakes, and the tips I'm about to share are all things I have learned since I started investing and things I wish I had known at the time. So I've put together some pointers, and hopefully these are things which you can apply to your own financial and investing journey. Number 1 is talking about money and being accountable. Money can sometimes come across as a taboo topic and no one wants to talk about. One of the best things we can do is talk about money with one another and learn from each other's mistakes. We should share the lessons we've learned so that others don't make the same mistake, as otherwise it means we'll all just be making our own way through the complex world of personal finance. And this could lead to all of us making the same mistakes again and again. If we all shared financial tips and spoke to one another about money, that could really help someone. I was talking to my friend the other day about the benefits of an ISA, such as the £1,000 bonus the government gives you on a lifetime ISA, or the tax-free gains on a stocks and shares ISA. Now that may seem obvious to me, but that person now understands something that they didn't know before, which has been amazing for them. Talking about money is so important, and you could do that with a friend or with your family. And the important thing is just to talk about what you've learned, talk about the mistakes you've made, and talk about the plans that you may have for the future. Not only is this going to collectively allow you to learn a lot more and avoid everybody making exactly the same mistakes, it's also going to keep you accountable to your savings goals. I'm sure whenever you've set yourself a goal and you've just kept it to yourself, it's sometimes very hard to stick to it, and very often you can find yourself slipping. But as soon as you tell somebody else about that goal, or put it up online, say when you're saving money for a charity event or trying to raise money, then suddenly you become a lot more accountable, and it's much harder to make that slip. So make sure that you're not only sharing your knowledge and your experience, but also your plans and strategies and goals with the people that you trust. Next is being proactive and taking ownership and control of your financial education. This means reading books or going online to websites like moneysavingexpert.com or Investopedia, where you can learn about money and how to take care of it in a sensible way. Unfortunately, a lot of financial education isn't taught in school, so this is an area of life you need to be more proactive in, to learn practical things like learning what a mortgage is, how to use a credit card properly, and thinking about your pension and so on. The good thing is once you start learning, all these bits start to fall into place, allowing you to see the bigger picture. This is all critical information we need to help us navigate this financial world we live in, which makes financial education more important than ever before. It's very likely that it will become a stage in your life when you're managing a lot of money that's invested in the stock market. Say if you're in your 20s and you're employed, you'll automatically be opted into putting a certain percentage of your salary into a pension. That amount can vary, but usually it's 8%. And as you go through life, the amount of money in your pension will only grow, and you'll eventually reach a sizable amount of money. The UK average salary is £35,000, and 8% equals £2,800 a year. If we assume that grows 6% a year, after 30 years that could leave you with £200,000, which you need to manage. Understanding this early helps because right now is the time to learn and invest in your own knowledge and experience. So when you do get to that significant amount of money, you know what to do and how to look after it. Number 3 is ISAs and pensions. The use of ISAs and pensions are great tools which you need to be using. An ISA allows you to save money in a tax efficient way, allowing you to invest without needing to pay tax on the gains that you make. I've included a previous video of mine in the description, alongside some links to various articles, so you can see how these things work and how to use it to your advantage. The sooner you can start using them, the sooner you can start to benefit. So if you're unsure how they work, I highly suggest you research more into them. The next one is pension contribution matching. So this is a tip you can actually implement right now, and something that you should do now if you're able to do it. Your employer or the company you work at may give you the option of pension contribution matching. That means they will match any contribution that you make to your pension up to a certain point. Now the good thing about this is that it'll mean you're doubling your money without doing anything. So for the company I work for, I have a standard pension contribution matching of 8%. My company then matches that same 8%, and that's essentially free money. Some people may opt out of this for various personal or financial reasons, or they may just not be aware of it. It's something to note and seriously consider, as you want to be taking advantage of all the opportunities and incentives that your company offers you. If you're unsure of what benefits you're entitled to, it's worth sending an email to the HR department, who will be able to help you and advise you further. Number 5 is finding the right app or platform to be using. Nowadays there are so many apps out there when it comes to investing in stocks and shares. It can be daunting when you first get started, but with all the new platforms out there, it's becoming a lot easier to get started, as these platforms will do the majority of the hard work for you. And the most important thing is that you find an app or a platform that you're comfortable with, and something that's going to fit into your life in a way that's going to encourage you to save and invest more. The biggest factor in your success as an investor is not the amount of fees that's being charged or even your investment returns. It mainly comes down to how much you can save, which is why it's so important to find something that suits you and that fits your lifestyle and fits around your level of experience, so that you're not afraid to keep on saving and to keep on investing. In the last few years, there's been such a massive development in the offerings of apps and platforms that are available for people. There are apps like Moneybooks, for example, that are targeted at complete beginners, people that have never invested invested before. These apps have really cool features that can help you and encourage you to save more money. And the choice of investments that you have to choose from is actually quite limited, which is not a bad thing. This is a good thing because when you first get started, it reduces the amount of decision making that you have to make and helps you to avoid making big mistakes, which is good when starting out. These are apps which are very much focused on beginners, but if you've got a bit more knowledge and experience and you're looking to potentially build your investment portfolios for investing in direct companies, then you've got companies like Hargreaves Lansdown, Trading 212 and Free Trade, which give you a lot more flexibility about the type of things that you can invest in. Now you may be thinking, do these tools with all their extra features and functionality give a chance of better returns? And the answer is no, they don't. Whilst all these tools and features have their own functions, and they do have their uses, they're not really going to give you much of an advantage over just using something simple like Moneybox or Vanguard that's just investing in index funds. And to be honest, all these extra features can make your life a lot harder if you don't use them properly. So if you're not feeling confident or you don't know what you're doing, it's probably actually best to just stick to something that's simple and basic. Simple and basic is the best way to invest for the long term. The most important thing is that you find something that you like using and that you find a strategy that fits in with your lifestyle, because the real big thing that you want to make sure that you keep doing is that you keep saving and that you keep investing. If you're really interested in investing and you want to invest in your own individual companies, then find an app that's going to allow you to do this, like Free Trade, because ultimately you being interested is going to help you save more and more. But the big fear is that you start trying to use something that you don't know how to use, and then you have a very bad experience and that stops you from investing in the future. Investing and taking risks are two sides of the same coin. If you want to invest, then you're going to need to take some level of risk. The reason you need to be investing is because the alternatives are a lot more bleak. You could keep your money in cash where the only thing you're guaranteed is that the value of your money is going to be eroded over time by the effects of inflation. The only way you're going to be able to make sure that your savings and that your money is working for you is by investing and taking some level of risk. Now, it's not just about taking any risk, it's about taking a calculated risk where you're comfortable with not only the upside but also the potential downside. In reality, investing should be really boring. It's very much a science, and if you're following the rules correctly, it really shouldn't be that exciting because it's investing, not gambling. And number 7 is just start. The really big important thing is that you just start investing as soon as you possibly can and you'll start learning more. When you start investing in your 20s and 30s, it lets you take advantage of compounding growth over time. Even if you did at your start by just a few months or years, it could have a huge impact on your overall growth. Time in the market is something that you should take advantage of because you're young and you have a long future of investing ahead of you. But you can only take advantage of that if you start investing as soon as you can. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, you might like to check out this video over here. Thanks for watching and see you next time.